What's up, everybody? It's Trey Smith, co-owner of Recaptured Values, alongside my talented wife,
Bailey Smith.
And hey, guys, we've been working for you guys. I've been kind of behind the scenes, which is why you haven't been seeing me. But trust me, I've been working for you guys.
Working the magic.
I'm the magic man. I've been doing all the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. You know what I mean? I've been working for you guys. But yes, a lot of big things are coming, and we are happy that you are watching these videos. We hope these videos help you guys. And
we're going to be putting out new videos every Tuesday, and we're going to call it Teach It Tuesday. So be prepared to learn. So whether you're a mama, a grandma, and any sort of family member making stuff for your little nieces and nephews, whatever. Right. Shop owners, we welcome you to watch our videos and learn. We're just going to be going through our favorite patterns and showing you how we use them in our own shop, and we hope you can benefit from them.
Well, enough of the introduction. We hope you enjoy this video. See y'all on the other side.
Hey everybody, Bailey Smith from Recaptured Values, and today on Teach It Tuesday, we're going to be going over how to hack two of our favorite patterns into the most beautiful, adorable bubble romper with shorts and cuff leg bands. And so we're going to be using the Little Lizard King Napa romper, and we are going to be also using the Big Noggin Baby Bummies. They just released also, Big Noggin Baby just released a bigger sized Bummie, so go check them out. We'll link them down below. But we are going to be hacking, basically combining these two patterns into making a really adorable bubble romper, which is perfect for spring and summer. It's just perfect for the season. So, moving forward, if you love this video, we will be doing more of these type of videos on our membership program, which we'll be rolling out, and stay tuned for a video of us explaining how that's going to go. But basically it'll be a monthly fee, and we will be going a little bit more into detail as far as like some things such as this pattern, more patterns like this, how we smush a few patterns together to make a really unique garment. So you'll get a little bit extra in the membership packages, and we'll have 3 different levels. We'll have a bronze, a silver, and a gold, and we'll do another video. Me and my husband will do another video explaining everything about that. So no worries, but just letting you know that if you love this video, definitely subscribe, hit the like button now. Thank you. And we'll get started here. But if you like this type of video and you want more of like secret, unique style garments that, you know, not everybody's gonna have, if you're a small shop owner and you're wanting to offer something that maybe somebody doesn't offer in their shop, or you've seen something that somebody offers in your shop and you're like, how do I make this? It looks different. I can't find a pattern about it. It's likely that they smushed a few patterns together and made something their own. So we're going to be sharing a few of those that we like to do, and as we go along and as we grow and learn, we'll share some patterns as well within that. And that package, it'll be the silver package that all will be offered on, which is the middle level. So just be looking at that. But for this one, we're gonna go ahead and give this one for free. So stay tuned for that. For this pattern, we've already got the bodice done. And if you want to learn how to construct the bodice of the Little Lizard King Napa romper, we'll link our video. We'll put it up somewhere over here somewhere, and you can click it to watch how to construct the bodice of the Napa romper. The construction is basically the exact same as far as the bodice, gathering just as we did in the other video with the Napa romper regular. And basically what you're doing is you're making, I'll go ahead and put this together and show you what it's gonna look like. So this is the pants of the Napa romper. When you print them out, it's sheets of paper. You cut the box and you tape them together, and this is what you'll get for an 18-month. This is what this size is. 18-month Napa romper pant. This is what you'll get. This is the exact same pattern that you'll get from the actual website, Little Lizard King. We'll link it below. This is the Napa romper. When you download the Little Lizard King Napa romper and you print out the pants, this is how it'll look when you get it all taped up. And this, I believe, is the 2 months, or it's a 2T size. This is the 2T size, and it's printed out. It's good to go. And so basically, I'm going to show you how to use the Big Noggin Baby Bummies, Bummies, to make this, hack this into a bubble shorts that you can add cuffs to. So basically what I do, I've already kind of got it here, it's just pieced together. But, okay, so first thing you have to understand is that the Bummies, which here's the Bummies, the back and the front has a higher leg curve here. It's higher because the back has to account for a little bit of meat meat in your seat, you know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a little bit tricky to make sure that you're getting this because it's double-sided. With pants, it doesn't really matter. There's not a front or a back. It doesn't matter because it's flowy. But with this, it's kind of going to matter a little bit more because you're putting cuffs on it. So we have to prepare the pants. So what I did was I went ahead and grabbed the 2T or 3T size from Big Noggin Baby. And this is the back. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to match up my fold lines. So this is the fold line on the Napper Romper. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to match it up to the crotch size. And I'm going to match it up to the fold line. And I'm going to trace the curve here. Okay? I'm going to trace this curve. And then I'm going to get a ruler or whatever you can use. I have this that I used here. This is the ruler that I used to cut headbands. And you can get it from Hobby Lobby. I'll link that down below. But I just did this and matched it to the edge corner here, to the point here where the curve ended on my Bummies. And I just did a straight line. Okay? And so when you do that, you'll cut that. After you trace it, you'll cut the part you drew. And then that is what you'll get, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so that's the back. If what I'm about to show you is a little bit too difficult or you don't think you'll remember this, this is a little trick that I'll show you in a second. But you can print the bottom, the pants of the Napper Romper twice. So you'll have two pieces, a front and a back, if that'll help you. You can do that. That's super easy. Just print them out. That'll probably be the easiest way to do this. But I don't like random pieces of paper just laying around. So we're going to do the front. This is the back. And so here's the Bummie front piece. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to match up the crotch part here. Have it lined up with my fold line. And as you can see, this one is a little bit higher, just a little bit higher. So I'm going to go ahead and trace right here. Again, like I said, if you want two pieces so that you differentiate better the front and the back, print out the Napper Romper. It's a little bit more paper. You're going to use a little bit more ink, but if that's easier for you, do it. But this is just easier for me, and I feel like it works. And the way I store patterns, this is easy. We have a shelving system, and this is just really easy. So here's how that goes. So after you trace that, I cut mine all the way off, and I just use my rotary cutter. I have one that is dull, and I just use that for cutting paper. So then you cut that, and then I added a couple pieces of tape, or really I just added one piece of tape here. One piece of tape right here. And so it flips up. So when I'm cutting my fabric, I just remember that I need to cut one on the fold with this raised up, and then I need to cut one on the fold with this laid down. It's super easy, and if you're looking at my gold tape, I ran out of actual clear tape one day, and so washi tape is all I had, and so that's what we're dealing with. So, but that's how you make the pattern piece to do it. It's not that hard. Once you figure out, you just pick the corresponding Bummie size and put it on top of your Napper Romper. Match up the crotch, match up the fold lines, trace, draw the straight line to the point of the Napper Romper. That's the exact same waist point because we're going to gather this. You can absolutely make this more bubbly if you want. I personally don't like super bubbly. I just like it being shorts. So this is how I do it. Grain of salt. Your own advisement. This is how Recaptured Values does this and sells this in our shop. So next you will need cuffs. So you don't need the cuffs that come with the actual Napa Romper. You'll need the cuffs that come with the Bummies. And so you would, of course, if you use the 2T, 3T Bummie piece to make your Napa Romper piece here, you'll need the 2T cuffs, 2T, 3T cuffs. So I've already cut all this out. And like I've said, I've already got my bodice here done. Bodice is done. If you want to learn how to construct the bodice, we did a video in the previous video was Little Lizard King's Napa Romper. We did the bodice, we did the pants, we did all of that. And the construction is the exact same for the bodice, and the construction is the exact same for gathering the waist of this and adding it to this. The only thing different was what I just showed you, how to make the pattern piece, and then you just cut them out that way. You'll have a front and a back with that little piece that I showed you how to flip up and down here. And then you'll need 2 cuffs, just like Bummies. And you'll sew those on just like Bummies. Okay, so it's fairly simple once you have the understanding of how to make it work. So I've already cut these. And again, this is the tricky part of just making sure what's the front and what's the back. And you know that based on the rise of this leg curve here. I keep saying rise. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but it looks like that's correct. So right there, that's what this is gonna look like. And I'm putting these right sides together because just like everything we sew, the seam's gonna go in the middle, and the you're just matching up all your sides here. This one really doesn't matter because we're not sewing there yet. So we're sewing here and here. You can use a serger. That's what I like to use. It just makes it really even and neat. Some people don't have sergers. A sewing machine is absolutely perfect. It will work. Zigzag stitch. We do typically when we're using using a sewing machine for construction, we'll do 3.5 by 3.5 zigzag stitch, and so that's here and here. So once you, I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. For purposes of the video, I'm just going to do it. You guys know how it looks. If you want to learn my settings, we do in the Bummie video, and I think in the Napa Romper I show the settings. So let me go over here and do this real fast. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that sewed up. So I remember I serged here and here. So I'm going to go ahead and add the cuffs here. First we got to do the cuffs, but I'll show you how to do that in just a second. It's just like the Bummies. So basically you need to remember, this is where it gets tricky. You need to remember what's the front and what's the back. The best way to do that is just lay it flat. The back is obviously going to be this part. Front's going to be this part. And so what I'm going to do so that I can remember this, I'm going to go ahead and put a little dot back here so I can remember that. A little pink dot, just so I can remember the pink dots on the back. Because I've done this a few times and I've totally just forgot what's the front, what's the back, and it doesn't really matter, but it does. It looks a little goofy if you don't do it right. Because that, I'm sure someone's gonna ask, why can't I just use a front or a back? You can. It's just gonna improve the fit of the garment if you do it just like the Bummies, because that's why they did it like that, is it kind of raises up in the front and leaves a little bit more room in the back. You can do it differently. You can do, you know, like 2 backs. It's just going to be a little bit more bunchy on the legs, whichever works for you. But again, this video, we're just showing you how we do it. So that's the beauty of sewing. You get to make things your own. So even if we're showing you this, you may find a way, you may use this to make your own, something of your own. So we're totally all about that. So I have marked the back here, and pretty much everything else, you'll add the Bummies, or you'll add the cuffs just like the Bummies. And if you've watched our Bummie video, if not, I'll link it. But basically we fold just like this, right sides together, and then we fold just like this, right sides together, and we'll serge this seam right here. I'll do the same thing with this one real fast so you can see, and then I'll serge them. And then so that will serge that seam right there. And another thing that somebody posted today, they were wondering if you do this, sometimes it shifts a little bit and it'll be uneven up here. But I've learned that if you start on this edge, the folded edge, if you can see that, start your seam on this edge and go super slow. So it would be like this in the machine. You'll start here and you'll go in super slow. It makes this a little bit more even. So that's the cuff. We're gonna go serge those real fast. All right, so I serged these pieces right here and right here of our cuffs. And so what you'll do is you'll flip them out like this. Make sure your raw edges are together, like so. All right, that's a cuff right there. Cuff. Then do the exact same thing with the other one. Takes a little bit of time just to manipulate it. Cuff, another cuff. Okay, and so then that's our seam there. I'm gonna fold it on the seam and do a little snip here on the end and a little snip here on the end. I just do my 2 points because that's my seams here and here. You can do 4, but just remember to make your points here and here. Quartering makes it easier because this is going to be a tiny bit smaller than this opening. As you can see, it's just a little bit smaller, especially with this curve here. So you're going to have to stretch this on to the garment. And a lot of people have problems with bunching, and it's probably because you didn't quarter and you unevenly stretched, and then it leaves some bunching over here. It also could be that you didn't cut your cuff with the stretch going the correct way, because you want the stretch to go around the garment. So if it's pulling onto your body part, you want this part to be stretchy. So like stretch needs to go around it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and serge these on. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pin them here. And again, preference, it's your preference where the seam goes, if you want the seam to be on the crotch part or you want the seam to be on the side. We typically just do the side. We don't have trouble with it. A lot of people have said they have trouble with it matching up. So if you struggle with that, definitely I would probably choose putting it down here, your seam where the crotch area is. So I'm just matching my 2 points up. Again, if you struggle with stretching evenly, do 4 points instead of 2. Our refrigerator is making noise. I don't know if you guys can see, but we actually found paper towels. We hit the gold mine. We ran out of paper towels, and then we were like, oh no. And so we went to Sam's Club and they had paper towels. I don't know where you're from, but here it's getting kind of crazy with the toilet paper. I'm sure it's probably crazy with everybody. Toilet paper and paper towels, it's insane. Okay, so what I've done is I've added the cuffs to the outside of the garment. Now it's acting goofy because I can't get my hand in there. I want to scratch it. I just want to show you how it looks. So that's how my cuffs look. It looks kind of silly right now. Those are my cuffs on the outside of the garment. I've got the raw edges all together and I'm gonna sew. And so when I serge this seam around here, again, you can use the zigzag stitch and I flip them out, the cuffs will be on the garment. And I'll remember I already made this little pink dot back here because that's the back. Making sure we're still there. Okay, I'm gonna serge around here. Again, if you wanna learn how I do this, if you wanna see the serger settings and all that, go look at the Bummie video. We'll link that over here. All right, so as you can see, I serged my cuffs onto the garment, and here's the cuffs now. They're flipped out and perfect. You can top stitch them down if you would like. I don't do that just because it gives more room, I think, for the legs. So that's how you make the bottom of the nap romper into shorts. So to gather, if you want a more in-detailed way to gather this using elastic, go look at our last video that we did with just the Napa Romper, Little Luther King, LOK, Napa Romper. We showed how to gather it. So I'm just gonna zoom through this pretty quickly. A little bit of explanation. Like I said, if you want a more detailed way, go look at the other video. We'll link it. But pretty much this is fourth knit elastic, and I pre-stretch it. Gathering with elastic has changed my life. It's just a little bit easier for me. So pretty much how to gather with elastic, you're gonna want to measure your bodice opening here. So I do it like this, and I'll just lay it out like this, and I'll add about 1/2 inch here, and that's where I'm gonna cut this. And then I will go over here, half inch overlap here, and I'll zigzag stitch right there. All right, so I have my circle of elastic that has it overlapped right here. And so pretty much you're just gonna quarter that. I use black here. And you make a point, fold it here. To the other side, you'll make that point. Then you match those 2 points up. And the exact same thing with each side here. Here. And here. So this should be fairly similar to your bodice. All right, and then you will flip your shorts inside out. Remember, we made the pink for the dot in the back. It'll matter because we have front and the back of our bodice. So we need to quarter our thing here. So I'm gonna match up my side seams. I'm gonna pull this out. And there's a point. So I'm just gonna use my scissors here because my snippers are over here. I'm gonna make a tiny little snip there. Do this one here. Make a tiny little snip here. Alright. And so then I'm gonna quarter. And I'm gonna look for my pink dot that I did as my back. I just like to put my overlapped elastic in the back. That's just a preference thing. It's just what I like to do, so. I go ahead and match these points up. I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the top of my elastic, so when I go to my serger, that's what's getting cut off, and I'm not actually cutting off the elastic, I'm just cutting off the top of this piece of fabric. And so I'm just matching up all my points. I'm using my 2 side seams, has 2 points as well. Right, last little piece here. All right, and then what I do is I go over to my sewing machine, and we'll go over there in just a second to straight stitch this onto the elastic. You'll stretch the elastic to meet with your thing, and when you let go, it'll all shoot back together. So at the sewing machine, and we're gonna go to a straight stitch, regular straight stitch, and we're gonna lengthen it as long as it'll go, which my machine will only go to a 4.8 length. So what you do here is you go ahead, put it under here. Remember what I said, leave a 1/4 inch fabric from the top. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a few stitches in here, so when I pull, it'll already be in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this next point here, and I'm gonna pull it just enough and fold my fabric just enough, unfold my fabric, that it lays flat on the fabric. You don't want to overstretch it, but so then we're just going to sew around here and try to keep your needle on the middle of the elastic. Closer to the top if you can, but the middle is perfect. Don't get too far down here, because if you do, those the thread will show through when you do it, here. So try to keep it in the middle of the elastic, closer to the top if you can. Remember just to keep pulling this till you get to the next point. I sew over my needles. A lot of people don't recommend that. It's just easier for me. So proceed with caution. All right. Keep doing the exact same thing all the way around. Just keep going from point to point. This is quartering at its finest. From point to point. Alright, last little point here. I totally am going below here. Alright, so as you can see, it gathered it for us. So now we're going to go over here and figure out how to put the bodice in this to make the romper. Alright, so now we have the gathered bottom, and remember we marked where the back was, so that's going to be important. And again, that's another reason why I put the overlapped elastic piece into the back. Also, you can absolutely gather with other types of methods. Little Lizard King actually has a very good video on other ways, alternative ways to gather. I just like elastic. Elastic may be a little hard to find at the moment with the pandemic happening and everyone making masks. But we were able to find some at Cheap Trims. I think they may be behind now, but I'm just kind of even in this little point up here, over here. Side seam. Those scissors suck. Those scissors are hideous. Okay, so that's the back and that's the front. That's how it's going to look from the inside. Okay, so we have the romper bottom inside out. And we have the bodice right side out. We've already quartered our bodice. We've made the side seams our points. And I've already quartered the bodice the back and the bodice the front. When I say quartered, that means I just marked a little snip. I marked 4 equal snips. And so we're going to match those 4 points up to the points that we put on our elastic, which are still visible. Those marks that we made on our elastic. 4 marks. Okay. So to do this, remember that if this is the back of your romper, then this needs to be the back going in. So remember, this is right side out. So you're going to put it inside the actual thing. Like I said, so you want to make sure that if this is your back, that you're putting the bodice in with the back side facing up. So that the back is matching the back and the front is matching the front. Otherwise, it'll be backwards even though you marked this. Okay, so we're just going to match up our points here. Go around just like we did the elastic. Put about 1/4 of the bodice fabric to the top of the elastic. And this is what I mean. You're just going to make sure the edges are matched up. So you're matching up the bodice fabric to this little 4th edge that you kept onto your elastic. So when you cut, you're actually just going to cut, or when you serge, you're just going to serge all of this off. If you're doing a zigzag stitch, this part's not absolutely necessary to do the 1/4 or to do the 4th, but it'll help when you're serging for sure. Right, almost done. Make sure all your raw edges are together. And the last one here, I already had a pin on the side. Alright, so then as you can see, that's what it's going to look like on the inside of the romper. And then so I'm just gonna serge around the circle. You can use a zigzag stitch. I'd use a wide zigzag stitch, and I would go over the elastic. And yeah, so you would zigzag stitch onto the elastic, a wide zigzag stitch on the elastic, and then trim your seam allowance, which would be this part up here. With the serger, it cuts this off, so you don't have to worry about it. With the sewing machine, it'll probably bother you if you don't cut that off. It'll bother the person wearing it at least. So we're gonna go over here to the serger and serge this puppy on and be done with this. All right, at the serger here, don't pay attention to how dusty it is. I've been sewing masks. But so here we go. We're just gonna start at a side. That's where I feel like we should start. We're gonna start at a side piece here. All these pieces. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put this piece right here underneath here. With the serger, it's really important that you don't sew over your pins because this thing has a blade on it. And so what I'm doing is I'm just gonna serge. You can see I have my knife. Once I get started here, let me get started. I have my knife right here right up against the elastic. So I'm not cutting the elastic, I'm cutting right up to the elastic. And so then my actual seam that the thread's gonna go on will be on top of my elastic. If you start cutting your elastic with your knife, it could dull it, so just try not to do that. You're right, so I'm just gonna go around in a circle. Again, if you want a more detailed video of how to do this, go look at the other video we did with just the little Lizard King Napper Romper. Make sure you're removing your pins and you're going around and making sure that none of these have moved and they're all still lined up as you go. Going around, make sure everything, so like sometimes this will start trying to come out, you just tuck it back into the shorts, into the romper part, make sure everything's lined up. Okay, we're almost to this last pin here. Keep going. Sometimes it will require you to do a little bit of stretching because the elastic, sometimes if you didn't measure correctly, the elastic will be a little bit smaller. Also, I like to make mine a little bit smaller just because I feel like it cinches everything together and gives it a really cute look. So, plus perfect gathers every time. All right. And then with this, you can always zigzag stitch over where your tails are. I just like to do this and pull one string at a time. Tight, tight. You can knot this, you can snip it, zigzag stitch over it, whatever you want to do. I've just found that it doesn't really come loose. So, up to you, your personal preference. So, that's what the seam looks like all the way around. Mine's not perfect. I kind of mess up just a little bit, but that's just gives you an idea of how it looks. So I didn't cut any of that elastic, and we'll go over here for the final result. All right, so here's the final result of this adorable romper. Super cute, super adorbs. So you got this arms. Let me space it out so it doesn't look so bunched up. So it's super cute, right? Right? So then you got your little cuffs. Super cute. And somebody had said when you do the elastic, this kind of bothered them. You can top stitch this up. So if you watch our sunflower Bummie video, the one we did with the ruffles, we top stitched the leg band ruffle up the exact same way we did that, and we did a zigzag stitch on the outside. You can do that with this, but the only thing is you will absolutely see the thread here. So pick a thread that you like. If that seam bothers you, we don't ever really mess with the seam. It kind of just goes up naturally because it's pretty thick You can also encase your seam with bias tape, I believe is what people do. But no one's ever had a problem in our shop with the seam. At least they've never said anything. But so that's how we do a bowl romper, using the Napper Romper and the Big Noggin Baby Bummies. And hope you like it. Hope it was easy for you. Again, if you felt like this one was rushed, it was because we've already done a video explaining a majority of these steps, like the bodice and everything. This one was just really to show you how we hack the pattern using the bummies and showing you how to, you know, make those pattern pieces. And you would do that for every size if you sew to sell, or the size that you're making for your child or your grandchild, whatever. But this is a super cute, easy way to hack the pattern to make some really cute shorts and spaghetti strap romper. So hope you love this. Subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next Tuesday. See ya.